and welcome to another episode of David's Elvis Movie Companion, helping you better enjoy the films of Elvis Presley and the music therein. Now, we're going to go to 1962 to a movie that is one of my personal favorites. Now, would it be considered an overall fan favorite of most Elvis fans? Probably not, and it's one that gets overlooked quite a bit, mainly because it is not a comedy. There really aren't supposed to be any funny moments, and it's called Kid Galahad. And in this movie, Elvis, who in a familiar situation, he's just been discharged from the army, and he goes to this fictional town of Cream Valley, New York, where he supposedly was born, and he's looking for work. And he just happens to go to a boxing training camp, and he's out of money, just any kind of job he can get, and so he takes a temporary, a one-off thing as a sparring partner, and accidentally finds out that he's got some natural boxing skills, and so they start to train him, and he falls in love, and there we go. As I've said before, complications ensue, and lots of loose ends are tied up at the end. I love this movie. There's something about this movie I could watch over and over again. First of all, even though it's not a comedy, and because it's not a comedy, there are not nearly as many songs, which I would have loved a few more songs. But Elvis in this movie, there are a couple of scenes where anyone who says Elvis is not a good actor, that he sang all of his dialogue or didn't, really have to try or whatever, they need to watch Kid Galahad. And if they continue to say that, then I may have to fight them. No pun intended. He has a couple of scenes that really show that he's got some powerful acting, dramatic skills. And he's surrounded by some huge talent. Okay, so first and foremost is pretty much his co-star in this, Gig Young. And he plays Willie Grogan, who owns this boxing camp, but he's a down on his luck guy. He, gambles, and, his father started the camp and it was successful, and then when he took over, it's barely hanging on. But if you don't know who Gig Young is, that's okay. I didn't know either until I, looked him up. But he actually won an Academy Award in the late 60s for Best Supporting Actor. And I've seen him like in a Twilight Zone episode and a few things like that from the 60s. He is a great actor, and he does a great job in this film. You're going to see the familiar face of Joan Blackman, who plays Elvis's love interest. She's also his love interest, Miley, in Blue Hawaii. And the chemistry's still there. Don't worry about that. Chemistry is still there. But here's some other folks who are in this movie. Charles Bronson. That's right, the original Mr. Death Wish. Charles Bronson is in this, and he plays one of the trainers, and he's great. And then in a very small role, Ed Asner. And for all of you young folks, you've got no idea who Ed Asner is, but if you're of a certain age, then you remember him from the Mary Tyler Moore Show. He's actually the only person to win an Emmy Award playing the same character in two different shows. He played Lou Grant in Mary Tyler Moore Show, and then the spinoff, The Lou Grant Show. So, fantastic acting chops. He's also a good Twitter follow. You should follow him. He's always got something interesting to say. But like I said, Elvis is surrounded by a lot of talent. It's a pretty good script. And, there's some of the complications involve, organized crime in the boxing world, and Elvis knowing that, I know they're using me, but I'm going to get from them what I want. It's really good. And I also give a shout out to Lola Albright. She plays Willie's love interest, and she's also terrific. She's got a couple of really great moments. So the acting is really good. Okay, is this The Godfather? No. Is it Gone with the Wind? No. But it really is a well-done film. And so you would, if you're unfamiliar with it, then you need to give it a shot. And I would say this too, the boxing scenes, they are as realistic as Hollywood boxing scenes can be, at least from that time. I mean, now, you know, they look like gladiators, but Elvis was actually trained by a real boxing trainer, so that his moves, his the different bobbing and weaving, and the way he's throwing punches, and the way he's on the defense, and whether it's a hook or a jab, he is doing it in a way that looks realistic. And if you're a boxer, you're going, oh, okay, he knows what he's doing there. So kudos to Elvis for wanting to get that real training and not just saying, oh, whatever, I'll just pretend. I've seen boxing before. Got trained for real. And I'll say this too, it's filmed, now they say it's filmed in New York. It's not New York, it's the Sierra Mountains in California, where all mountain shots are done in his movies. But it's really pretty. And there's something about the summer and autumn feel to it that makes the movie extremely pleasant. So definitely worth looking into. Now, the music. Okay, so there are 6 songs in this, and I've actually got it's a double feature soundtrack here with Kid Galahad and Girls, Girls, Girls. I like all 6 songs. Now, I'll say this, the scene where he's singing Home is Where the Heart Is to Joan Blackman's character, a little awkward. That particular scene, maybe they should have reshot that one. Maybe rethought that one. It's pretty awkward. But the song is really good. If you have to choose just a couple to put on your Elvis movie playlist, King of the Whole Wide World is the opening tune, and it's on the opening credits are done too. It's a great song. I would also put I Got Lucky on there, and that scene actually shows an Elvis, you know, where he's doing a lot of his moves, and he kind of comes out of character a little bit, and kind of suddenly becomes Elvis, as opposed to being Walter Gulick, which is his character's name. He's not Walter during that song. He's Elvis. That one's worth it. Riding the Rainbow is a good song. The others are pretty good too, but if you were just going to pick 2 or 3, then definitely King of the Whole Wide World, I Got Lucky, and even Home is Where the Heart Is. It's a good song. So there's a lot to like. Well, let me take that back. The songs that are here are really good. There's just not a lot of them. And that's sort of a trademark of the handful of Elvis movies that are more serious and are dramas as opposed to musical comedies. There just isn't the quantity of songs that you're going to see in like A Girl Happy or Blue Hawaii or Viva Las Vegas, or even like Harem Scarum and some of those. But quality over quantity, my friends. So I give this movie a B+. I don't give it an A because if you're a casual Elvis fan, you may not enjoy this as much if you're really looking for Elvis stuff. And if you really only like the, romantic comedies and the funny, musicals, you might not like this as much, but I implore you to give it a chance. And like I said, just a well-made film. And a film that I think when you watch it, it may not shoot up to the top of your favorites list, but it's going to be a dark horse candidate. And will definitely be one of those that you go to over and over again. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this episode and enjoy the film.